video I made, I'm going to make the opposite version, which is how women categorize men in the first 30 seconds. Just kidding. For women, it is not in 30 seconds. It takes a while for us to categorize you, but I'm still going to give you the categories that we put you in. The first category is probably the scariest place that a guy never wants to be in, and it is the bottom of the barrel. It's the friend zone. But us girls, we actually think you are our friend. You are our brother in Christ, and we stand by that. You are familia, okay? I don't think guys can have girlfriends. I think if a guy's like, she's my friend, dude, you're just playing long game. But if a girl's like, that's my friend, yeah, that's her bro. That's her brother. I'm very sorry if you are in this category right now, genuinely. So then right above that, girls put you in the potential category. And I don't know why girls do this. I've done this before, but he has a lot of the qualities you want that intrigue you, but he's not fully, husband material. So girls have this weird thing they do in their head of but I can change him. No, you can't. You can't, but we say this anyways. We really like these potential guys. We really, really do. We're just like waiting for the day where one day we wake up and you are all of a sudden like husband material. But usually that doesn't happen. And then the third category is he could ruin my life guy. The guy that we are all obsessed with. Every girl has this guy. This is the guy we actually like obsessed with. He's not perfect on paper, but there's something about him. He's confident. He's unpredictable. And he doesn't really overchase. This is the guy that makes you feel something. And women are emotional creatures, and so this is why we're obsessed with him. And then there is this other category, but I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to because I feel like it gives us girls a bad rap, but it's fine because it's true. Then there's that one guy that he's so perfect. He's nice, he's sweet, he treats you like gold, he's amazing, he's nice. He's the nice guy. It's the nice guy category. For some reason, and guess what? Girls don't even know what the reason is. This will always be the mystery. We don't know why he's not the one still though, but he's so nice. He would be the perfect husband. He would be the perfect dad. He's the best guy ever, but there's something, you can't fully get there with him. So those are the categories, and honestly, there's like a couple hundred more, but I'm gonna leave it there because that's probably a lot to process. Let me know if you have any more questions.
I think a lot of women look at it and they're like, I'm a great woman. And because I know I'm so great, you might not see it now, but I know that I can get this relationship in the direction that I want it to go in. And I think a large part of it is ego, partly denial. But then I think that some women honestly like the feeling of being needed. And that's why some women, they don't feel comfortable being with a man who already has all his stuff together, and it's intimidating for them. So it's like, I can go for this man who needs me. If he needs me, again, that codependency is there. And then maybe he's more likely to stay with me because he needs something from me in order for him to self-sustain.
Okay, I was actually going to break this video up into 2 different videos. And I say, shit, I might as well do 2 videos. One video because they talking about pretty much the same thing. Now I'm gonna talk about the woman in the pink purse who's talking about the 3 categories that women put guys in. There's really was 4, but I'm gonna tie the last 2 in together, right? So the friend zone guy, where she said to y'all, hit the link in the description on the Patreon. Oh, from a woman's perspective, we're genuinely friends, but the guy really has sexual attraction and too scared to leave, and that. But if them dudes knew, if you just walk away from her, a lot of times she'll give you the cat. That's how women are. If you sit there and you chasing them, but if you turn around and go talk to another girl or go live your life and not give them that attention, they gonna come find. That's just the way to work. And probably gonna sleep with you then. That's it. But if you sit there and you in the friend zone, I see it all the time when I used to be at the gym in Farmington Hills. I go every now and again, and you see the guys that's the friend zone guys, usually a young guy. Friend zone guy, you can tell, following the girl around, they working out as friends. She giving her number to other guys in front of him, and just not a respectable guy at all. He know about her body count, everything about her, and then she just settled for him at the end of the day. That's what they hoping for. And then she says, the guy who has potential. He has potential, and I like him, but I'm not sure. Basically, he's probably not financially where he needs to be at. That's basically what it is. He's not financially where he needs to be at right now, or where she would like him to be at. but I like him as a boyfriend, but I'm gonna still go get cracked by a sugar daddy or still look for a guy with more money. It's pretty much all that potential guy is. He just ain't got the money yet. That's it. And then go to the next guy. She talk about the guy that can ruin their life, and that's all the ones that we fall for. And that's gonna tie into the next video I'll talk about with the other young lady talking about wanting to be needed by men, and I'm gonna tie that into that point. But then she did a bonus one where, you know, she sat there and she talked about another version of a guy. She says the perfect guy, and she didn't want to talk about that. And the perfect guy, he'd be the perfect husband, he'd be the perfect this and perfect that and all that type of stuff, but he just doesn't have that spark there, you know. And that all this is going to tie into the next video, right? With the old girl. Women want to change. Okay, women want to change. If you already good and you already perfect and you already A1 from day one and all that, they want to change you. They want to say they be able to change you and be like, I'm responsible for success, or I'm responsible for conquering the womanizer who slept with all of y'all, and now I made him into a domesticated husband. He's a reformed whore or reformed 304, and I got him to settle down. I got to domesticate him. I got him to be the husband life. See, I conquered him, y'all. That's what they want to be able to say. But you got the perfect guy to do everything for you. That also scares women away because it puts the mirror. That forces them to be perfect. That forces them to be better. But also there's nothing to change. Therefore, they have no leverage. If a guy got emotion, he got everything he needs to be doing. He don't need you. Therefore, he can walk away from you anytime. Women want leverage. Women always got one foot in and one foot out. It's rare in your life you're going to have a woman that's fully invested into something. Even in their friend groups, they got an escape route. Women are thinking about an escape route before they make the commitment. Real talk. This is why a lot of them don't really understand when they job hop and they don't get opportunities. They understand why their salaries don't go up. You keep job hopping. You got to work through it to build your salary, to build your skills up, to build your seniority up. But every time they don't like something, they want to quit. Every time they have a tough day, they're ready to quit. And they wonder why, they get these degrees and they still at the bottom of the barrel. They can't get jobs because you quitting so often. Your attendance is trash. You don't know how to work through issues. You always complaining. You always crying. Your attitude is bad. What men end up finding out, and a lot of young men, they do that, but you end up finding out once you get an opportunity, you sit there, you suffer, you take the hard job, you take the bottom of the barrel hours, you build your seniority up, you learn as much skills, you apply for job promotions, you may or may not get some, you get some, you add more skills, and if you feel like you got to a point where you're superior and they don't give you the promotion that you deserve, you can take those skills and go to another job. You got the longevity, you got the skills, and you go from being an employee, and now you're going to be an assistant manager or a manager, or you want to be a assistant supervisor, and eventually you're a supervisor, you'll be a plant manager, you'll be running a whole Sephora store or whatever, or whatever. They understand that. The commitment, the grind, the working through turbulence, you know what I'm saying? Building brick by brick, and this even done with degrees. But hopping around when shit get hard or quitting when shit get hard and having a choppy resume, it's not good. And then women don't understand, and women always quick to leave. And when they leave, they regret it. They're not going to sometimes say it out loud. They leave that man instead of working through the issues, instead of him saying, or the guy leave because he asked you to do little simple shit. Guys don't ask women to do anything that's beyond. If it's cook, if it's clean, I prefer you to wear your hair this way. I really don't like you wearing that. I really don't like the eyelashes. You might get some of that nature. I really don't do the drama. I want to do the arguing. You're spending too much money. I'm not traveling every month. I'm focused on my career. Let's settle down. Let's be paid. Stuff like that. That's it. But women always want to take the coward's way out. A lot of women just want to take the coward's way out, the easy way out, and they end up losing. They losing relationships, they losing careers, they losing their job fields, they losing life. You know what I'm saying? They that's just what it is, a lack of commitment. So you get the good guy and it forces you to be a better woman. and it holds a mirror to your deficiencies. Rather than you work on it and get with the right guy, you'd rather say, well, I'd rather go get the guy that's totally bad for me. He's horrible for me. I can change him. They want to be able to change that guy to have leverage on that guy. They want to leverage him. That's all it is. What the other woman is talking about in the video, it's all about leverage. I want him to need me so I can have leverage over him. I want him to be a felon so I can call his probation officer so he can't leave me. When he make me mad, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to call the police to send him back, threaten to send him back. They want leverage. That's why they like pookies. That's why they like bad guys. It's a leverage game. I like they talk about homosexuals so much, but they the ones that love moving homosexuals in. They the ones that like to over their house to these dudes, these bum ass niggas, because they want leverage. Oh, you can get the fuck out of my house if you ain't gonna do what I say do, or she might be mad. You ain't paid enough bill. Get out my. They want leverage. It's not about their ego or I think I can change him. No. They want to just say they're responsible for your life, your success. They responsible where you at in life, and they want leverage over you. I done so much for him. If it wasn't for me, he would. That's what they want to say. But the perfect guy, y'all telling me all the shitty guys are the best ones with the best sex and they got man bullshit. The perfect guy, they can't say they're responsible for nothing. And unfortunately, they don't even understand that guy love you regardless. Even if you ain't the perfect girl, he love you. He gonna be in debt with you and treat you right. But you feel inferior because there's nothing to change. There's nothing that you can leverage him on. The leverage is based on his trust and his loyalty and his loyalty within you in the relationship. But how women look at men from their point of view, they look at it from as a woman. Oh, if this was me, I would cheat on her. I would leave her. I wouldn't be loyal to her if this was me. And that's how they come into a relationship. Why would he want to be good to me? Why wouldn't he have more bitches? Why wouldn't he do me dirty? Because they'll do you dirty. That's why they look at it. Most of the women, they never got done dirty. They claim they had these relationships that they was never in. These were situationships. They got pregnant. He told them he didn't want the kid, and now all men are deadbeats. It's true. It's true. So listen to him, bro. It's kind of it's not your ego. You just want leverage, and you wanted to say you was responsible for this man being successful. I've done so much for him. That's what they want to be able to say. But if you can't say that, they feel like men are going to leave because they will leave. And men don't operate like that. When a guy love you and rock with you, even if he did you dirty, he's still like, damn, you know what, man, I did do you dirty. I still rock with you. I still look out for you. Now, when you do him dirty, especially if he ain't do no dirt to you, then that's when he cut all strings off. He cut all things attached off. But that's how they think. They want to be responsible for your success. They want to be responsible for your turnaround. They want to say they have stake in you. Instead of just doing what Denzel Washington's wife did, Samuel Jackson's wife did, stick around, be there through the tough time, be there through the turbulence, see the potential in the man, build, and then have the success. They want instant success. It's like the black community. When you start talking about investments, day trading, investing our money, pulling our money together, they most likely to gravitate to a get rich scheme, a Ponzi scheme, a crypto scheme, and lose their money and cry, than rather it take 10, 20 years, 5, 10, 15 years to see a real, interest and real money coming from their investments and doing it the right way. It's the same way how women think. They want instant success and instant gratitude and don't understand when you cut corners, you get silly prizes. When you get in with that rich man and you suck your way, you get in there and he be cheating on you, giving you diseases, dogging you out, treating you like shit, and you used up and abused up at the end of the day, you'll be like that bitch with Jim Jones Chrissy talking about he used my youth up. Nah, you was fucking sack chasing. That's all, you was sack chasing. That's it. You was sack chasing. Flat out. Silly, play silly games, get silly prizes. Hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Peace.